Hello and welcome back to Priestess Life, or what it means to be a priestess in modern day times. My name is Brigantia and I am a full-time priestess in the 21st century. I have been doing these video series for the last few weeks um, based on questions that people have sent to me or given me in workshops and tours or emailed me or put in the comments below these videos. And it was great to do this, but this is going to be the last video for now because I've come to a natural end of the questions that have been sent to me. It doesn't mean that if there in the future, if any questions come up or if you want to send me any questions, please do so, because I could just, the when the question arises, I can make another video and see if I can give you any answers or my perspective on the issue. So this time, the last question that really came up, it came up in different ways, and for me, it all can boil down to the question: how is a priestess a human being? The questions that came in, but from two sides. The sides were okay, the interaction with others and the interaction with yourself and your private life. So, of course, a priestess is a human being, and it's an interesting thing, and I would like to address that as now as well, because we often hear, especially here in the community, that we are seen or not seen, maybe also seen, but definitely named as goddesses. So things like when the goddess conference is on, the community, in the community you hear, oh yeah, the goddesses are in town, or the goddesses do this, or the goddesses are holding their procession. Although it's very flattering, of course, we are priestesses, we are not goddesses, we are human beings. And I think that is very important to realize that, for yourself and for others as well, that of course they don't really see us as goddesses, but just to name, I think words are important. Um, to say the priestess is a different thing. So for me, there's two things in this question. Um, the interaction with others, and I think the interaction with others first is an important issue, especially in my teaching. What I find is that um, sometimes students forget that you're a human being, and I think this is not specific for priestesses. I think in any teaching situation this will come about. Um, and so what I come across is a few things. So one of the things is that people kind of start to put you on a pedestal. And I am very, very uncomfortable on a pedestal. First of all, I have vertigo, so I don't really want to be on a high place. But that's a bit of fun. But um, I don't like to be put on a pedestal. I really like to have an interaction that is mutually receiving, giving. I learn as much as my students from teaching, and also I am a human being, and I don't know everything, and I love to learn. I've got a lot of students who have a specific um, knowledge, like for instance astrology, and it's beautiful how that can weave into teaching. So yes, for me that is very important, to not have that interaction where you are higher than or better than. And I think this is one of the reasons why our Avalonian tradition doesn't work with high priestesses. So you can become priestess or priest, but not a high priestess or high priest, which means that you are really working together in community, in circle with each other, where everybody is equal. Yes, you can have more experience. Yes, you can have a temporary teaching student relationship, but in my experience is then after the training, we really become people work together, and I love working together, especially with my ex-students. Everybody with the ex-students is nice because you know so much from each other, and yeah, that gives a special bond, really. Um, the same thing with this thing of human being is that sometimes people project on you as a teacher. So projection is that somebody who their own wounding, their own doubts, their own fears, instead of looking at themselves, they project that on somebody else, and the teacher is very much a person who gets projected on. And I think as a priestess, this is one of our sacred duties. To, if there is projection, to really try to not get it personal, but because you are a human being, sometimes it feels very personal. So if somebody projects their anger on you, sometimes it's quite hard to hold that boundary and say, actually, this is not mine. But as your teacher or as your sister, I have the duty to hold up the mirror and look at yourself and help you look at yourself. On the other hand, of course, this is the same for myself. So I have to be aware of when I might project to other people. So to be a priestess for me is also a continuous work on yourself. It's not, but you're really not ever um, ready. You're never really finished with learning. But it's great. I love that as well. That you're constantly developing and learning and journeying further. Um, I love that idea. But I love learning. So this is very much something um, I like to do. For me, it all really comes down as a priestess and a human being to walk your talk and to talk your walk, to be authentic in what you do as a human being, but also very mindful that you are a priestess and you are in service to Goddess, and that is not just words, it's an everyday of everyday interactions, everyday how you present yourself, all that thing. And then, of course, you can just also be a mess, I can have like really sad, and it's great to have a community that can be very, when I'm very sad or when I'm very angry, there are sisters around who who are there for me to help me. So that is really great of living in a community like this. But then find your community if you are a priestess, and you're not really close to, well, to a lot of priestesses like here in Glastonbury. Try to find your support circle. We here in Glastonbury we call that pearl circles, priestess in real life, and it is very much about being real in life. The last thing about being a human being, I think is very important to also feed yourself. And feeding yourself can be taking rest. For me, feeding myself is always going in nature, but also being with family, having time just to do fun things, but also um, feeding yourself by continues doing other courses, seeing what other sisters are teaching. All that is really about constant development. Yeah, so I think that's kind of my idea of, okay, how are you human being and priestess at the same time? So it is walk your talk and talk your walk, being authentic, being loving every day of your life, 24/7. And it's not a hardship. For me, being priestess is very much a place of joy, beauty, and love. So it's a real honor to be priestess of Goddess, priestess of Bridget for me, priestess of Avalon. Right, so I hope I've answered this question. If not, please do react. And so in the future, if you have any questions, please do email me, and I'm very happy to answer more questions. But for now, this is the last of the series. So I hope you have enjoyed watching and listening to my thoughts. And I hope to see you again in real life or on YouTube or in any other way. Blessed be.